guys, some girls, they're tattooed, they've got spiked hair and neon AROs, they've got tattoos and, gold tusks and piercings, and they're like, hey, so, what you want done to it?
Well, I don't want you drooling over it. I want it painted in these colors. And I throw him the picture of the
Alright,
logos
so how
and
about we
colors.
paint it all white and slap the logo on the side, big colours, and better tag to projected ARO. Sound good to you?
For 1,000 new, and it better be good work.
It'll be fine. Alright, go get a soy bucks or something. It'll be an hour or so.
No, I think I'll stay here and smoke. Not that I don't trust you, but I don't trust you.
Whatever. The gangers just clearly don't care. So they start masking up your windows and other various bits like headlights with, plastic and tape. Then they roll it into a spray booth and start spraying it just boring matte white, like it was just a white truck. Then they wait until that dries. Then they pull out some large vinyl decals they had printed off a wide width vinyl printer while the painting was taking place. They pull those off and they roll them up the side of the now white Nissan hauler quite nicely. It's now proudly presenting the logo of Heavy Rainwright. Finally, they are into the middle of the logos. They stick a chip blasting out an ARO for the Heavy Rainwright's host. Click here to know more about Heavy Rainwright. The orc says, well, you're going to have to, flip up your chips and your plates, but should hold up pretty easy. You look all professional and construction-like, don't you now?
Booker will make a show of looking over it and frowning and yeah, I guess it'll do. And then I'll toss the cred stick with 1,000 Nuyen.
Thanks. Come back to see Skeezy if you need any more car mods. You look like the kind of guy who appreciates vehicular and robotic constructions.
Maybe I will, seeing how well this holds up.
Alright, remember, Skeezy's in Touristville. No questions. Alright, so you're here in Touristville. So, how are you going to get back to Renton?
Back the same way I came, but this time... Oh wait, no, I can't. There's cameras. They would see my face if I changed my sin now.
No, they wouldn't, because cars have tinted windows. Because line of sight mages exist. And so tinted windows are the standard. Everything has tinted windows.
So then, yeah, I will drive out the same way I came, but this time I'm not broadcasting my national sin. Now I'm broadcasting my fake sin.
Yeah, so the fact that this fake sin doesn't line up with the owner's chips and plates for this vehicle is completely reasonable, given that this is a work vehicle.
Also, spoof chips and morphing license plates.
Just
change it.
Yeah, you did that, but it's a checkpoint. They do check this kind of stuff. Like, oh, right, do these license plates line up with these chips? Does that line up with who's supposed to be driving this car and the sin in it? Yes, no. But for a work vehicle, it doesn't matter, so you're fine.
Yay.
Knight Errant doesn't seem to have any reason to stop you, and you drive through the tunnel fairly easily and head back down to Renton. While you're doing that, tactic, let's talk about your spirit for now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
A force spirit of water is heading into the building from the top down in order to survey the site both astrally and...
Right. The spirit comes back a little bit later, and it reports that the den of rodents bars my passage at every entrance. Every time I approach, it's skittering and snarling and hissing at me, and I do not wish to break its walls. I am sorry, Master.
It's not your fault. But that is interesting. That was on the Astral, correct?
That was on the Astral, yes. So,
Interesting.
that's very interesting. I mean, you could send the spirit back and possibly have it
Oh,
describe everything as it sees it, or you could project over there yourself and have a more detailed look.
If only I had the ability to astrally project.
Sucks to be a sad.
No, I'm a full mage. It's just, oh wait, no, astral projection's just a thing that you can do, isn't it?
As a full mage, yes, you just lie down and leave your body behind because you're a magician. You can do it, sure.
It's magic.
Yeah. I have to admit, I'm still figuring out what things I can and can't do.
So, I'll just take care of Bunny to make sure she gets a share of the roleplay and actions. Then we'll come back to you, Tactic.
Yeah.
So, Bunny,
Absolutely, not a problem.
you're going to call up Dr. Falk. And I just need to get her sheet up. Just give me one moment. Yes, so, Dr. Falk. You would like to, let's see. You're trying to find somebody who can find you construction uniforms, correct? Yeah, it's pathetically easy. Dr. Falk is like, oh, well, I know somebody who happens to run a industrial supply superstore, and they won't ask me any there's no uniforms for that building and that company in particular. Like, construction workers don't wear branded uniforms with logos. They wear just, construction gear. Heavy work pants, high-vis top, steel-toed boots, gloves, glasses, and hard hats. And so the person that Emma Falk knows, runs a surplus, cheap-end store that sells that kind of stuff. And you can borrow some of it. Unless, of course, you want to appear like you're not construction workers, but rather managers, maybe, with like branded polo shirts. But managers wouldn't be doing the kind of heavy lifting with barrels that you are aiming for, so you probably want just construction gear.
If you were looking to infiltrate, engineers do sometimes go on site and specifically for the purpose of looking around, but again, not for heavy lifting.
Yeah, so you're going to have to make a trip over to a certain location in Bellevue where this person works, but it's not hard. So let's skip to about 5 p.m. Sorry, let's take care of Tactic, then let's skip to 5 p.m.
So
Tactic.
Yeah, I'm going to keep the spirit with me, but I'm going to head over in the astral.
You've still got 2 services left, so yes.
To assess precisely what's happening. What this rat nest is, how it's set up, and what, if anything, we can do about it.
Okay, you start projecting over. As you get close to Montgomery Financial's building, you see that the top of the building is entirely wrapped in what looks like shredded paper and cardboard and bits of tin can, and on a macro scale, as in the shredded bits of paper are some 20 feet tall. The top 4 floors are just completely wrapped up in this. Have you had strict magical training, or have you just sort of picked it up as you go?
A combination of the two. Strict magical training up until the age of about 16, 17.
Well, since you don't actually have
pick
any
up
magical knowledge skills, I'm going to say that you don't understand exactly what this is.
No, the best I can do is Arcana at 1, which is not great.
So, well, it's clearly something, and it's something magical because it's here on the astral. So what are you going to do about it?
Is it possible to see signs of movement within?
No, it is completely opaque.
And I take it also serves as a mana barrier?
So, out of character, it's entirely only a mana barrier.
I see.
I just chose to give it some fluff since it's been set up by rat shamans.
Yep. Well, I was... I wouldn't be able to tell whether it's a lodge or just an established mana barrier just from looking at it from the outside.
You could sense
That
it.
would require some looking.
You could sense it.
I could also have my spirit sense it, who would be a lot better at this because it actually has a sensing.
Which is great, except it'd use one of your 2 remaining services. Yes, it's
that would be fine with me.
Cool. Roll the dice. Yes, master. I will
Would you
peer
like me to
into
use a macro? Or...
There's no macro for a sensing. Just roll 8d6. This is a manipulation ritual. You can recognize the astral signature upon it. And so you are fairly sure its force is lower than your magic. But you have not seen this astral signature before. You know that as a mana barrier, you can fairly reliably push through one of these, if you are careful. Or you could try to break it down.
Well, we still have a little over a day left before we have to plant the explosives and bail, correct?
You don't even have to go near this mana barrier.
True, but the idea of murdering a bunch of rat shaman simply because somebody wants the building torn down seems suboptimal.
Welcome to the bad fields and then Alvian run.
I do still have some time to formulate a little bit more of a plan, though, so I don't think I'll be busting down the barrier quite yet. Recon done. I will stop astrally projecting, dismiss the spirit with my thanks, since I'm pretty much done detecting.
Sure.
And
so
pass priority.
And we all come back at about 5 PM. Booker's still looking over... Well, Booker now has a bright, shiny new white van. Tactic has scouted in the astral, and Bunny has gone and picked up a bunch of construction gear. It's actually all second-hand, so it looks appropriately worn in and roughly fits each of you. Dressing up in a trial run in the motel room, you all quite magically turn into some construction workers. What's more, the heavy gloves, clothing, and dust masks, goggles, and hard hat quite well obscure all of your features. So, you have the knowledge of the guards, you have knowledge of the security devices, you know where the bombs are going, you've got the bombs, you know what else is in the building,